working on the tone control board next. I took out 2 screws on this side, 3 screws on this side to drop the front panel. And I took the screws out here and pulled the switch covers off so I could push this board back. That also necessitated unscrewing the holding nut for the balance control. And now that board is pretty much loose. I can get to everything I need to get to. Good opportunity to spray some contact cleaner into the balance spot. But there are 4 black flags on here that have to go. So place your bets. Let's see how many of these are still good or bad. Replace all 4 black flags on here. If you notice, they're these tan colored guys are not the blue ones. I think these are a slightly tighter tolerance, but they will do the job. And here was the results. We got 3/4 of them were bad. So we had 1 good one and 3 bad ones. So they've been replaced. I'm going to go through the electrolytics here and replace all of these. And then we'll put it back together, test it, clean the controls while I'm in here. And like I said, put it all back together, test it, and see what it looks like. I probably mentioned this before, but when you're replacing a capacitor that has wide lead spacing with one that has smaller lead spacing, you don't want to just force it down to the board because you'll put excess stress on the rubber seal. So what I do is I give them a bend, a 90-degree bend. I usually do the negative one because the positive one is longer, and I want to maintain that just so I am cognizant when I'm seating in them that I'm putting them in the right way. If you put them in and just put a little kink down here like this, let me just zoom in a little so you can see. That'll seat right in the board, and it doesn't put excess stress on the seal. I finished recapping this board. I replaced all the black flags and all the electrolytics. People have taken exception to a video I made about recapping, calling it the new bloodletting, because the conventional wisdom on the internet is that you always have to replace all the caps all the time. And there are times when that's a good idea. I was in here, I'm replacing them. My main complaint is it is not an effective repair methodology. If it was, I'd do it. But you've seen, if you watched any videos on here, the capacitors, while they do occasionally cause problems, are maybe 5% of the issues I come across. I come across shorted transistors, shorted diodes, all different kinds of things, broken traces. Capacitors can and do fail, but there are other things that can and do fail as well. So if you want to replace your caps in a piece of equipment like this for longevity, good idea. I was in here, I replaced them. Simple as that. It's good for resale value. It's good for longevity. There are certain capacitors that should be changed out on site. I've had personal experience with the baby blue Sanyos that become incredibly electrically leaky. The Matsushita cap, like I found in that Technics tuner, the last video I did, apparently they're a real problem, and they leak electrolyte, which is very corrosive and ate through a couple of traces on the board. They should be changed out. If you have ice power amps or switch mode power supplies, people pointed out in that video in the comments, and I read them all, that you should change those out. Those technologies are incredibly hard on electrolytics, and they were correct. Those Bel Canto amps, 6 of them failed within a 10-day period. The owner went away, left them powered up. When he came back, none of them worked, and that was the problem with every single one. Okay, I've got my meters connected to these test points right here, and I'm going to start adjusting this. We'll see how close we can get this to 0. You should see what the spec is. It's probably 0 plus or minus. Okay, let me see what that says. Plus or minus 10 millivolts. All right, well, that looks pretty good. Now the other one's buried way down in here. So let's see how hard this one's going to be. Okay. Well, it seems to be responding really slowly. Maybe it's my meter. Both in slow. Top one, which is the left channel, looks really good. I'm going to change the rate. This meter. Okay, well, that's 1 millivolt. Yeah, it should left well enough alone. All right, that's good. It has to be within 10 millivolts. So that looks pretty good. So let's see what this thing looks like now. Turn the signal on. Let's see. Okay. It looks pretty good. Let's see. I think I got the front panel here so I can refer to it. Okay, this puts our tone controls in circuit. It's really hard to tell what's going on there, if anything. I'm going to have to put in a square wave to determine that. So the tone controls are in. I think we're getting a minor adjustment there. I'm going to put some square waves in. We'll see what the tone controls are doing. Okay, so I got some square waves in here now. I guess we don't need to look at the distortion. It's going to be pretty bad. All right, so I turn the bass. We can see we do get change here. I change the turnover. It's a little more pronounced. And with the treble, we get a good response here. This is the only way to really tell if your tone controls are working. You have to feed square waves in. So the tone controls look good. We got the adjustments done. I'm going to stop this video right here. I think the next thing I'm going to move on to is either the protection board or the moving coil board. Both are mounted to the back here. And that would be the back here. And you have to drop the back and get to that. You have to be careful if you're doing this, because when this thing is on, these are the convenience outlets and they are live. Anyhow, I'm going to stop this here. As always, I thank everyone for watching, and I like giving back to the community that's given me so much. Thanks a lot, folks.